I'm Clare Davis with Mental Health Chats, and we are talking today about goal setting and why goal setting is a game changer for managers. And I've got the fabulous Rebecca Shannon with us. Hello, Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, Claire. Thank you so much for having me. I am super good this morning. Thank you.
Well, you're always super good, Rebecca, and thank you so much for being here. So first of all, if you want to tell everyone who is Rebecca Shannon, because I know who she is.
So I'm Rebecca, and so I live in the UK. I'm based in Kent. I'm a mum of three fabulous boys most of the time. And yeah, that's who I am.
Lovely. So that's in a nutshell who you are. Mum of three boys can be very challenging. And we're going to be talking about a challenging topic in a minute, but just tell us a little bit more about what do you do? What do you do in your work life?
Yeah, okay. So I'm a coach. I work with predominantly leaders, and by leaders I mean not necessarily by title, although often it is, but also people who own their own leadership of their own lives. So it may be people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, but it could also be, mums leading a family. It could be people working within the community. So it's anyone who recognizes themselves as a leader in their own lives.
Oh, I love that. That's such a good definition. And goal setting is really, really important for managers in the workplace, which is
Yeah.
who I help, but also leaders in anything in their lives. So what I think would be really, really good, because we should be setting goals all the time and reflecting on the goals that we've actually set in the past. So if we could think about when we're setting goals, what should we be aware of, especially managers, when reflecting on the goals from the past and which ones have been successful and which ones may have been quite challenging?
Yeah, great question. And yeah, for managers, obviously goals are so important, in terms of for their own focus, but obviously when they're running teams is to keep people accountable to what it is that they said they wanted to do. So if we're reflecting on goals, in the past, I think it is really important to slow down, first of all, slow down to speed up. Often we'll skip past very quickly onto setting the next goal, and we lose so much power within that. So slow down, first of all. And as you've said, look at goals that have been met and how we got there. And also then the goals that we set where we didn't get there. And as you say, dig into the why. Why did we get there? It's like I talk about sport analogies quite a lot, right? The really good football managers or coaches in any sports look at much as their victories as their losses. They take time to look at both and really dig into the detail of what occurred, what went well, what didn't go well, what worked, what didn't work well. And I think sometimes, especially in a fast-paced environment, which recruitment often is, we skip past all of that, right? We skip past the detail. Does that answer the question fully?
Brilliant. I love both of those, actually, and it's any environment really, and it's a case in managerial roles often we don't slow down, and I think that's absolutely brilliant, because we think we've got to get the next one and the next one and the next one, and we don't actually appreciate what we've done. And I love the why. This is something that I honed in on with my clients often. And I love the fact that you've used the analogy of sport, in the fact that they look at the why they have been successful and now the why of when they haven't, because often we just look at the negatives. That's what we're actually focused on, negatives all the time, and we're actually programmed to look at negatives. So I think it's the why did we succeed? What did we do? How did we do it? So could you give us a couple of examples of, you don't need to use names or anything, but examples of what the whys might be for successes and challenges?
Well, I think the first why for success and failures, if you like, is where people are committed to it.
Yeah.
Commitment is what creates everything, like the action towards it, right? So often, and under commitment, I think is often, we talk about why, is belief. Yeah. So if we, there's a great quote, I think it's Henry Ford, who says, if we believe we can, or we believe we can't, we're right. Okay. And I was using this with a group of managers last week, actually. And often we miss that. We miss that we set a goal or we commit to something, but underneath it, there is a belief that we can or can't do it.
Yeah.
And when you dig into the whys, the people who decide that they're going to do something, fully commit to it and believe it, always succeed. Or they get close. And I think this is the other thing we sometimes miss. It's about being on the field. It's like if you are fully committed and you believe you can, you may not still hit the goal or all of the parts of the goal, right? But you've been on the field, you've been playing the game, you've got feedback. And this again comes into the slowing down part, is you get more depth to the why. Whereas if we set a goal and we commit to it, we don't really believe it, and we don't therefore take action, we've got less to play with when we're looking at why did this work or why didn't it work.
Love
So, again, sports analogy, the Michael Jordan thing of, the thousands of hoops I got or the hundreds I got compared to the thousands that I didn't. He knew every time he didn't get it, and he worked with that. And he tweaked it and improved it until he can go onto the court and confidently know he's going to get every basket, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. I love those stories. Absolutely love them. So let's look at setting goals for the future.
Yep.
What can managers do for themselves and their teams to make sure they're setting goals together that they will achieve?
Well, I think that's the first thing, right, is set them together. Okay, so I think, managers working with any organisation are likely to have a bigger picture. So they're likely to have a vision or a bigger goal. So one is to make sure that they're part of that conversation with their managers and their leaders so that they're really clear on what it is they're trying to achieve as a whole. And then taking it into their team is, how do we engage our team in what we're trying to achieve? So I think agreements rather than expectations is a really good way to look at it.
Yes.
So sitting down with your team and really spending time saying, look, this is what the cat's joined me. This is what we are looking to achieve. Are you in agreement with it? So you have that opportunity for dialogue. Takes away expectations. Always have a sense of people don't really understand. I'm expecting this. I haven't really explored it with you. So I think that's one thing, is agreements. The other thing I would say is, and this comes from looking backwards and getting really clear on why and where we are, is get accurate about where you are right now when you're setting the goal of where you're going to get to.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we are setting ourselves and our teams up for either more of a challenge than they need or failure straight away.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's not saying that we can't still set, stretch goals, inspiring goals, big, fat, hairy, audacious goals. But we still need to know where we're starting from. We need to know who's in the team, what skills do they have, what capabilities do they have, do they have belief in what it is they are achieving? And if they don't, what's getting in the way of that belief? And slow down. Let's come back to, if we believe we can do this, what would we do? If we believe that we can hit this goal, what action will we take then? And see what your team come back with, because you will get bolder, braver actions if they believe they can get there.
Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. And I love the agreement, because this is something that I'm always pushing. And I know myself, even in my personal life, I've set goals with friends or with family and we haven't agreed. And it causes so much stress. It's like, I don't want that. We haven't set boundaries. We haven't talked to each other. And it's thinking about what is the impact if we don't.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the impact if we don't agree and then we don't hit our goals, what's the impact then? If it's based on expectations, people feel frustrated, they feel let down, they don't feel motivated. And suddenly you've got a real battle on your hands. You've got more of a challenge, because you're now not just trying to get to the goal, but you're trying to, move a group of people who aren't feeling it.
Yeah. So true. Oh, I love working with you, Rebecca. Such wise words.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would love to get in touch. So where can people find you, Rebecca?
Oh, they can find me very easily. So Rebecca Shannon on any social media platform, pretty much any social media platform. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Don't use Twitter very much, but I am there. So go onto there. My website is complimentcoaching.com. and you can go and find me on there as well. And if anyone heard anything today that they want to explore, my first suggestion would be speak to Claire, right? Because
Oh,
Claire is
thank you.
brilliant at this. And if you also want to speak to me, then yeah, come and find me in any of those places.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, the lady in pink. I love working with the lady in pink, for your very wise words. You've been brilliant. So thank you and take care.
Thank you.